Why are so many dogs suffering from health issues? Actress Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. It's called Superfood Complete. Superfood Complete is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including several superfoods vital to your dog's health. Badlands Ranch also sponsors the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation, which has helped rescue thousands of dogs and place them in loving homes. Dogs across America are trying this food and experiencing amazing health benefits. Go to badlandsranch.com/save50 and order right now to get up to 50% off your regular price order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible things, go to badlandsranch.com/save50 today.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Gordon. We have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much, man. Just ready for another great episode of O&R. I got striped this week at class, so moving up to the lines of dangerousness.
Okay.
You know? So
okay.
Keep going. Felt way better this week than last week. Kept the diet up, and I felt like I had more springs today. Like I look, give me a couple more weeks, I'm gonna be out here like doing exercise and not be tired, and out here, moving around with range.
All right, we were on the process to AKA Rich Latta.
Yeah, trying to register these hands.
Ass kicking artist Rich Latta.
Gotta register Lethal Weapons. But
now,
yeah, man.
Now, keep in mind, like, I did Taekwondo as a kid. There ain't much of none of this shit here. So what the fuck is this? He got the hands up like he in battle stance with karate chop hands. What the fuck is this?
I think I'm gonna need all the feet to keep the people that was going insane this week, James. So that's where I guess we should begin right there.
Oh man.
So James, actually, this is how it started. I saw this tweet from somebody that was very high on Dump Matsumoto. Included it was like a thread or whatever, and I think they were trying to talk about the Netflix show as well, and then they had all these recommended matches on there. I sent it to James early in the morning, whatever, for him to look at, because I've heard how he talks about Dump Matsumoto before.
Yeah.
I had never watched Dump Matsumoto until about an hour before this show went on the air here. So James from there sends out innocuous tweet, kind of.
I would say it's innocuous.
You trying to ruffle
if you knew who I was talking about, you knew who I was addressing, whatever else. Like the tweet was, I don't remember exactly the word tweet. The tweet was basically like, without saying her name, I was like, just watch the Netflix show, like save yourself these matches that don't hold up, right? And then like I went away from my phone, and then like I came back and I saw people were like calling me all sorts of idiots and have I ever watched AJW? Was like, no, my opinion is that Dump Matsumoto has really slow matches that don't hold up compared to like over the time of 40 years because I didn't watch her matches. Like what? I saw people saying that like assuming that I was just shitting on just all Japan women's in general.
Yeah.
And which was like, no. No. So like the people that were like, the people I saw one person send me a picture that said "kill myself" and I laughed at it.
I think I got more offended on your behalf.
I wasn't offended at all because it's like you want to tell me to kill myself because I don't like watch some match that by today's standards is crummy. Like okay, fine. Sorry to disappoint you. You didn't kill myself. Like that kind of stuff doesn't. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I don't know these people.
Like I wasn't having. I was like, look, like if anybody usually is inflammatory out of this show, it's me, right?
Right.
And then
you're the one normally gets people. They call people call you a nigga and then tell you to kill yourself. And it's the first time it ever happened to me. It was kind of funny.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But I was like, absolutely the fuck not. Like, and I didn't engage with a couple of these weirdos, these weird ass niggas, like to quote our California brethren.
Wow.
But yeah, I just didn't like that shit. Like it was just like, nah, man. Like we don't have to go this far when talking to and about each other. When it comes to like telling someone to kill themselves, telling someone to do a lot of these. Self-harm or whatever, because it's like this shit's just fucked up.
You don't know who the person you're sending that to. You don't know that that's not me that's gonna not take that seriously at all because I don't know you. You don't know if that's somebody that's actually gonna be like, oh my god, like I've offended somebody and now I feel my day's been made worse because some jerk didn't like my opinion, like or somebody like was so offended by my opinion they told me to do that and now I consider it. That's not me. Like, my opinion is my opinion. You tell me to kill myself. I'm unmoved. I'm unchanged. We talking on this show. We about to allow us to double down in a second. So, whatever.
Yeah, they were talking they want to run up on James with a hammer and all this shit. I'm like, all right, man. Like,
I didn't see that part till later. Because I didn't see that part until it was mentioned in a thread with other people that, that know my opinions about Dump Matsumoto. And were like, Rich said some shit about like, yeah, you don't want no problems with James. I was like, nah, I was unaware of that. And I saw it, I laughed. I was like, oh god.
I was like, yo, man, like we are real, actual people that show up places. Like, not show up looking for problems or anything. We actually we participate in the real world. Like,
like a lot of people, like you, for example, you always have like your Avi on Twitter is you. My Avi is like not me because like it's a joke because like my thing is Michael Jordan crying face on the Florida State Chief Osceola symbol until Florida State makes a college football playoff thing. That's kind of the running gag is like it was so bad for so long. I was like we suck until further notice. So we officially back. It's gonna be that right. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like all my shit links to videos of me and my face doing a weekly podcast. Right, so it's like I'm not hiding behind nothing. Right, my fucking name is in my at. So it's like But anyway, it was a bunch of different people saying all sorts of crazy shit with obviously not their faces on their Abbies. No, look, that's not their inclination. I'm not getting the anonymity thing or whatever. So I don't really care. Like, but the main thing for me was like. Nobody, after all that stuff I got, nobody sent me any Dump Matsumoto match to change my mind, which I found to be just kind of interesting, right? Because normally, right, you think all the times, plenty of times, right? Somebody will say, hell, Liv Morgan or somebody isn't a good wrestler online, and their stand-in will do what?
Dogpile them.
Send video clips of a match,
Yeah, but like, what do you mean this very basic sequence isn't great?
Right. We've seen that, right? They'll send clips, they'll send match, they'll send Rex, they'll send someone's match guide from Cage Match, any of that. That didn't happen. Now, don't get me wrong, Dump has been in some great matches, but those matches tend to have like 8 people in them. So I don't know where you want to go from here. I don't know exactly where you want to go from here because like my point still stands. Like I didn't say anything about whether or not she wasn't a larger than life character. She absolutely was. I didn't say anything about she wasn't a draw. She absolutely was. She's the top villain in a promotion that was on fire. You watched one of those matches. We'll get into that match in a second, but you can't deny what that crowd was doing. That crowd was living and dying by that match. But nonetheless, all I said was that match don't hold up because every Dump Matsumoto match I've ever watched that didn't have like 40 people in them don't hold up. That's fine.
It like,
hey, you know what else that match that don't hold up? Dusty fucking Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not no fucking slight.
Yeah, I just think as they were called in our chat, Ko-Fi Twitter needs to calm the fuck down.
I don't even know what Ko-Fi means.
People with the Ko-Fi, like you can buy them a coffee and shit, and like, they write you the reviews and shit like that. Tons of Monticello, the rest of the the Joshi freaks, the Puro dorks. All y'all that hide behind anime characters and all that other shit, right?
The part that's funny is like
I don't respect none of y'all. Like me.
The crazy part is most the Largo Loop. Most of y'all do what? Call me Dr. Joshi and make all these jokes and want to put like Starlight Kids, fucking Eddie Guerrero, 97 WCW colorway mask on me and shit with a doctor's robe around my. But then I say my actual opinion on like if I am going to really review all that old stuff and be like. This stuff's raw. This stuff is still good. This stuff don't hold up. They was mad about that. How come they didn't want to yell at me when I said, "Oh yeah, like the Hokuto and Manami Toyota match"? It's good. It's not great. It ain't neither one of their best stuff versus each other.
I don't know, man. I think people are real sensitive. It seems about Dump Matsumoto, and they're really looking forward to this Netflix show. And all that, and I hope they enjoy it, right?
I was helping promote the thing. I was saying, watch just the show. Because if you watch the matches, you might be like, what the fuck why do I care?
Yeah, it was just a whole lot of you don't understand wrestling and all that. I'm like, look, man, James don't have to love y'all 80s Joshi. Like we don't have to like anything. Really?
But that's the thing that's crazy about it. I do like most of the 80s Joshi I've watched. Like them Devil Masami versus Jigusa Nagata matches, those go. Like in the 80s and in the 90s they went. Right? Like the for example, like the late 90s, like the 89 Bull Nakano stuff, I like that. The like rookie year, Manami Toyota, Toshi Yamada stuff is like coming up together. I've liked some of that stuff I've seen, right? Like, so it ain't just all Japan Women's. It ain't just the 80s. Nah, man. Like, look, Flair Steamboat holds up, right? Like, the Tiger Mask stuff still holds up. The Linus Asuka versus Jaguar Yokota stuff still holds up. This is dope. So I am a person to be like, we're done with the 80s. The best stuff in the 80s still goes. This ain't the best stuff in the 80s. I'm sorry.
Y'all just got to live with that. Like that's just what he thinks. Like it's.
Oh, Brewhaven is.
Yeah, wildin'.
Yeah. Anyway, so because we were talking about this and you had never seen the Dump Matsumoto.
Yeah, I was like, y'all yelling at the wrong one. Like,
I'm gonna tell you what got me into watching the Dump Matsumoto stuff and going to deep dive to be like, hey man, all these other people from the 80s and 90s from All Japan Women that I think are great or like were ahead of their time or innovative. There's a whole group of those. This one don't quite fit the bill. And it's crazy because she was she's the leader of the faction that had Bull Nakano and Raja Kong. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, so a lot of hate parallels, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the first match I ever saw, I was directed to was because of Meltzer. Meltzer talked about this match, talking about like the crowd heat in comparison to the Tam Juliet hair match. So I was like, oh, well, that match is good. You know, that match is really good or whatever else. And he was like, this match doesn't compare to that. So I pulled it up and I watched it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So, like, the crowd reaction is great, but like, I'm like, crowd reaction is unbelievable. One of the best crowds I've ever heard. But the action in the ring is like, it made me think of like Hogan, Rock. It made me think of Hogan, Andre, where it's like, these are some of the best crowds, or maybe the best crowd you've ever heard. The action in the ring, nah, man. Like, the work was done before the bell rang. It wasn't done during the bell ringing. Sorry. So, go ahead.
All right.
So, I told you to pull this up because you had never seen any of this stuff, and you were like, what's the controversy about? So, go ahead.
Yeah, so, like, I pull up Dumps Matsumoto versus Chigusa Nagayo. I don't know the date, but it's 1985.
The 85 hair match.
Hair versus hair match, right? And man, so there's a woman that comes out dressed as La Policia, 5-0, them boys, the pigs, cops,
the
law, an upholder of white supremacy. I already don't like this woman, whoever this is.
Dump Matsumoto, yes.
Okay, so like, from there, no, but it wasn't. It was like, I'll show you. So like, from there,
well, I've seen Dump come down to the one of these matches. She comes down to the ring with the cop.
That's just
joint.
somebody that's with her.
Okay,
or whatever.
So
apparently.
and then also she also have
one.
like the Nasco or it's really her thing. Nasco copies her with the whole like samurai garb as well in '86, I think, the year later.
So Chigusa was carried out to the ring in the finest of Nihonian silks at that time, it looks like.
Yep.
Tons of streamers. I missed those.
Yep.
The goons then got in the ring, and one of the goons began disrobing. And then I was like, oh, one of the goons is Dump. So she basically does like a disguise and a sneak attack, gets the heat on her. Lots of high-pitched voices. Immediately she began beating her with a chain.
In a regular rules match, yes.
Yeah. She chokes her, and some white woman rushes to the ring. I don't know who that was. I think that's too early for Medusa.
It's not 85. Medusa.
Yeah.
But I mean, keep in mind, like, people like Reggie Bennett was around in the 80s. Like, I watched a Reggie Bennett Linus Oscar match that stunk back in like I want to say the mid 80s.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. Like, that was some like not some big level match. That was just a match I was just watching. Be like, people were talking about. I remember Ross was talking about Reggie Bennett in comparison to Willow. So maybe pull up old matches.
So before I go any further, I would just like to take the time to acknowledge that Dump Matsumoto showed up with the police once again. Like, that's from there, it was a camel clutch, and I could just feel the excitement from the ring work.
Yeah.
Crowd is in a specialized chant during all this. I can't really make it out, but they're clearly wanting Chigusa to get up.
Right.
Chigusa gets up. She responds with like 3 head kicks before the ref seemingly disciplines her. But it looks like
after getting her ass with a chain.
Correct. It looks like but literally that's the next I have written. She was just getting choked with a chain. Dump then kind of like rides her upper body and has her hands kind of like tied up in a test of strength position.
Greco-Roman knuckle lock, yeah.
Yeah. She kicks her, and Chigusa ends up breaking free for a failed roll-up attempt. Dump then responded by wrapping her body in a body hug for, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds or so. And then she stabbed her with what looked like to be a fork.
It was a fork. Yes, that was one of their. That was like the chain, a kendo stick, the Aja Kong trash can deal. That's hers
originally. Get there.
Yep. And then also the chain and the fork and the kendo stick. That was all the weapons she would use through all her matches, or not through the matches I've ever seen.
Yeah. So Chigusa then like kind of turned it around and got an abdominal stretch on there. Crowd goes insane for her showing any sign of life.
Yep.
From there, there was a Scorpion Deathlock attempt from Chigusa, but it got reversed into what looks like an STF, kind of like a sloppily put on one because she was just trying to squish her, essentially. Dump does an actual sharpshooter after that, and then lets it go, and she just starts punching the knee with her fist. Chigusa's selling the leg big time. She's trying to show Dump she still wants to fight still and tell the crowd, like, hey, I'm still in it. Then from there, we got a drop toe hold into a half crab by Chigusa. More smooth work there. From there, they then brawled outside where it looks like a mini riot breaks out among the trainees. From there, Chigusa began boshing Dump's fuck ass with the box. I assume Aja Kong was instantly inspired. She's trying to stab Dump with what are now scissors, I believe, and the ref got in the way. Then Dump stabs the ref because fuck him, apparently.
Yeah,
so
that's a thing in some of these Dump matches. She just attacks the ref. No DQ, no nothing. Just lets her roll.
Yep. She attempts, to actually cut her hair like it's real hair versus hair. I'm gonna do the cutting and strutting like the Brutus Barber. And speaking of the strutting, we get to the strutting too because that's a little later on. So the ref is real lax when it comes to Dump and her stabbing.
Yeah. In a regular rules match.
Yeah. Chigusa walking around like she's been concussed before she got opened up pretty good. She was completely covered. Yep. Then there's a sharpshooter out of nowhere for Chigusa. Dump gets a shot at her face, and that shot on her face, she's like completely no-selling that anything's happening to her. She's just kind of looking like...
Talking about Dump?
Yeah, expressionless kind of.
Yeah, Dump did a lot of what I consider to be like no-selling, but...
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess people will argue would be like, well, her take is that she's a monster, she's larger than life, so she's not selling. It was like, well, then Hulk up.
Yeah, I was going to say, if she a monster, she larger than life, then why is she in a hole getting beat the fuck up?
I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying, like, I think people argue would be that, and my argument would be like, well, then why is she, like, growling or whatever else? Because she's scared to shot them teenage girls. She absolutely is. She's terrifying to those girls.
I'm being informed that the cop that I was referring to is Crane U from Zach Porter. Never heard of Crane U before, but yeah. At this point, Dump grabs a microphone. She begins bashing her as the world's dumbest referee misses like 7 microphone shots before he takes it from Dump. Mm-hmm. Chigusa's face looks like it's been ran over by a car at this point. I then look up again, and Dump is carrying a table around the ring like it's WCW NWO Revenge. Then there was a chair shot that Dump somehow got a chair. She decided against the table. Then stunts for the crowd, and then all of a sudden they just count to 10, and Chigusa just doesn't get back up, and I'm like, it's over?
Yeah. Crowd starts throwing shit. They're upset, obviously, because Chigusa's about to get her head shaved. Yep.
Yo, I didn't watch the post match because I had to get on air and everything, but I can see the appeal in it, and what it looked like for the time and stuff like that. And it was, it was really heated. And I liked the crowd aspect. But like, if you're asking me to be impressed with Dump Matsumoto, what's the impressive part? Like, is it when she grabs the scissors and stabs the referee? Like, there were a couple holds they exchanged, like between, the sharpshooter and Scorpion Deathlock attempts and stuff like that. But that's real, like, those are just transitions, kind of. Right. This is just a brawl, kind of. It wasn't like terrible or anything. It was just like, oh,
you got a 2024 star rating for it, sir?
I would say maybe like 2 3/4, maybe.
You gave this 2 3/4?
I would probably go 2.5, 2 3/4.
I don't think this is a good match, so I would not go with 2 3/4. But what? Okay, yeah, man. Like I said, don't hold up. They are not working for us 40 years later.
Correct. Like, I don't want
39 years later. Look, they're not.
Actually, bring it to me. I know I'm in 2024. Whatever.
Right. But that was my point of my tweet. The matches that she has in high profile matches I've ever seen do not hold up. So
yeah. But again, they're not working for us.
Right.
Whatever.
And
I don't think this should be offensive based on what you said. You said.
Exactly. So
you didn't say, hey, this works for 1985, 1995, 2000. You didn't say that.
I said they don't hold up. So just to give you a heads up, if you want to, you can do it too. Like, it's about the same length. The 86 hair match a year later where Chigusa gets the win back. And when you watch how she gets the win back, you'd be like, she wasn't put over. But she won on like a suplex roll up and dump, basically kicked out at 3 and got stood right the fuck up. But anyway, yeah, so it's the same match. It's basically it's a lot of the same. It's not much different except for the finish. I think there might be even more interference, more run-ins, like people outside from Dangerous Light just runs in the middle of the match, runs into the ring. Then like you look at her 80, I can't remember if it's 85 or 86 run I was watching in the Grand Prix when like she faces, I want to say it's 86, can't remember, 85 or 86. I'm just going through like the years where like it was where she got the biggest emotional reaction at top heel in the promotion. And like I watched through those things and it's like, okay, she faces Devil in the thing, and like I think that's the best singles match I've seen her have, right? It is not necessarily a great match either. It's just like it's the shortest match out of all of them. And like Devil basically said, we're not doing all this shit. We're not doing all the run-ins, all the weapon shit. We're going to have a semblance of a match. And it was fine. Then in the semifinal, or the second to last match of the Grand Prix, she faces Chigusa, and it's more the same, and then she wins. And then she faces Linus Asuka in the final, and it's like, even though like Linus Asuka is better working than Chigusa. And it was like, wow, even Linus Asuka get nothing out of her like that. It was like, oh, okay.
And it's like I kind of was like looking for like points of innovation or anything like that. I guess you can just call
the heat.
Yeah, stabbing someone in the face is innovation, but there wasn't like it didn't seem like there was like creative thought. This was just like, oh, we're gonna get some heat on you. Like it wasn't anything where I was like, oh, tons of thought went into this. Like,
I mean, look, if I'm not the historian on heat spots in pro wrestling. I'm sure there are things that Dangerous Lies came up with that were innovative for their time, and
maybe I'm just missing it.
And probably are staples of the game now and tropes that I fucking can't stand with House of Torture or Bullet Club or any other bunch of motherfuckers that have shitter matches like that. But
all this to make wrestling worse.
Look, I can tell you right now, Ozaki-gun and Oz Academy definitely out here taken from Dangerous Lies.
That shit is funny though. That Oz Academy shit, I don't know why. That shit's just funny.
I fucking hate that shit so much. But my point is like, hey, this ain't the stuff you show to people that have never watched before to want to press them about like the innovation and brilliance of the 80s and 90s All Japan women's wrestlers. It's not. Will you disagree? Will you play this? Will you play between the Aja Khan Manami Toyota Tokyo Dome match?
Fuck no.
Okay then. Would you play this between like Hokuto and Kandori? Hell no. You're out your damn mind. So yeah, like that's the gist of it. The shit just ain't on the level of the best stuff from that era, from that particular promotion. She wasn't one of those level of workers. I didn't say she wasn't over. I wasn't saying none of that. I said her matches don't hold up. People told me to go kill myself.
Amazing.
Y'all look, man. Y'all go on the reviews and watch the shit your damn self. Those that are listening think they're listening or whatever else. That this probably gets clipped or whatever else, and hate my guts listening to us going through this stuff. Go through and play this. It's on all this stuff's on YouTube.
Hey man, write 1,500 words about how much you love it and give it 3 1/4. I don't know what the fuck y'all want me to do with it. So
3 1/4.
Yeah, so let's move on, man.
Yeah.
So we got a big announcement this week from Arlington, Texas. AEW All In next year is coming to the Rangers Stadium. If you're someone that listens internationally, this is one of the nicer ballparks, baseball parks in America. And I was pretty excited to hear it. Everybody's affectionately calling it Y'all In. I gotta say, James, I plan to be there.
So do I. It'd been nice we had got the first one, but
yeah,
Tony Khan being a wrestling promoter went into wrestling promotion tactics and said we're gonna hold it off. Like we're gonna get y'all to fly in the first time. We're gonna do London one more time. Try to get y'all again, and then just when you think that it's just gonna be London forever, we're gonna bring it to y'all. So then y'all have no excuse not to come.
Yeah. I am not going.
Now it's a flight for a couple hours anywhere because it's in Texas. It's in North Texas, as opposed to you got to get your ass on a plane and go over multiple time zones. And by multiple, I mean 6-hour flights and that kind of thing. Now ain't no excuse.
I got a nice 2-hour and 13-minute flight from the A out there. So I
believe when I looked mine up from Tampa to Dallas, it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, sign that up. But this is a pretty big thing. I think the obvious question is why did they do this for next year? I'm like, well, you go 3 years in a row at Wembley, you're bound to get more diminishing returns.
Yep.
Now the whole thing that we said with Ospreay, I guess that's out the window, but he could win it next year or whatever. And I believe they are going to be in London next year doing something that's not All In. So I don't know. People have speculated it could be Forbidden Door. It could be something like that. So I don't know. But it's not going to be a Wembley.
Given who they have access to, Forbidden Door would draw in London.
Yeah.
With access to Ospreay, access to Sabre, access to people like Ishii and Shibata. Yeah.
They moved it back. It's going to be July 12th.
Suzuki, Okada, yeah.
It's going to be July 12th next year. So, this year, All In has been, the last week of August. They're moving it. So, there's a hole in the calendar that it looks like is being filled because July has no pay-per-views normally. Now, are they going to move back Blood and Guts? What are they going to do? Because that's kind of been their July thing. But, I saw this and, I saw, the reaction to it. A lot of people were excited for this. It looks like they, have struck a really good deal with the city of Arlington that the Collision stay for 6 weeks went really well. They looked like a really big deal with all this, with the press conference. Swerve was there with the belt, Mercedes, Athena, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Thunder Rosa. So a lot of people there, and it was really cool. It looked pretty big time. I think it can hold anywhere between 35 to 40,000 people. I think it's probably going to be set up for 35 with that. And I feel like this is going to sell out. The novelty of being the first kind of stadium show. I think if you are doubting the sellout on this, I don't think you're paying attention to how tickets move.
It's definitely going to sell out. And, the person I think had the doubts about the sellout didn't realize what stadium they were in. They thought it was Jerry's World. And then once they realized it was a baseball stadium, they were like, oh, never mind. I retract everything I said. Never mind. That's definitely going to sell out. That's way too small. That's the thing. That venue is probably too, if there was a venue in between in sizes, that's probably the best place for them to have done this between Jerry World and the Ranger Stadium. But, I don't think there really is. And, given where they're going to do or where they're going to be, and the history of WrestleMania weeks, the 2 times they've had WrestleManias here, I think the indie people world is going to latch onto this and try to have big shows, whatever town they can get on to do this. And I think that's actually for the best for this event. If you're going to do this, if you're AEW, you kind of need people to come in and make it a whole thing and make it their WrestleMania where all the indies come, the Rev Pros come, you have the Russell, the WrestleCon, that sort of thing, whatever else. There is an interactive thing in London going on, whatever iteration of StarCast they used to have, they need to bring one of those access things to them for America. Make it the thing where people want to spend one of their weeks or a quarter of their vacation time, taking their ass here to do it, and really do it up. So. Yeah, I think all that's appropriate to make this thing work. Because I kind of miss WrestleMania weekend. Or WrestleMania week, so
having a destination to meet up with everyone. I'm sure we're gonna probably plan something between all the shows. with Social Suplex that are probably going to be out there. I know I'm going to probably be involved in some type of music event or something that weekend. So there's going to be, I'll probably have a busy weekend that weekend, but I'm very excited for this because it's like, as you mentioned, there's been this gap because I don't go to WrestleMania weekends anymore. Or
because so much talent is in everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like I tried to force myself to go to Philly for the Stardom thing. I just like, nah, I can't do it, man. I can't.
Yeah. I imagine there's going to be a big lucha presence on this thing. I would think Mystico is going to find himself on this show. There's lots of possibilities of what, the main events could be. It's so far out, I almost even don't know what to really predict or anything yet.
Same.
But huge day in the history of the promotion.
One thing I will say is, do you think, because they saying Omega is due to come back next few months, do you think they hold off on him? Do you think they can figure out a way to, in a good way, a well done way, to hold off on Mega Okada from not being done before they get to Arlington, Fort Worth, Dallas?
I think if you go through, and I don't know if he necessarily. Maybe Okada can lose like the finals of the C2 or something and then put someone over for the belt, or he wins it and then he spends like the first quarter with the person, whoever's going to take the belt off of him. And then you either reintroduce Kenny back to the promotion then, or you basically jump it off between them there.
Well, Cyber King has a great point.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be the January 5th Dome match now.
If Omega was ready, Okada versus Omega in Japan.
What's the name of that show?
Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah. That's probably what it's going to be held out for.
I think that still even would not diminish doing it in America, because that's going to
start. It's basically restart of the series.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would hold that off. I wouldn't do that in Japan. Because it's been years and all that, but I do Takeshita and Okada in Japan.
I don't know what is a right answer for any of this stuff. I'm just saying, like, I'm just thinking of places where that goes or whatever else, or places that you put in. Like, those two places that makes most sense for me is like, you already sold that match. People have been wanting to see it for years now again. And it's like, all right, you were going to do it this summer. He wasn't ready. Do you hold it off until the next summer, or do you do it in Japan? Like, either, I feel like those are the two most likely places to do it. But as far as Kesha and Okada, I mean, whenever they do it, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think that, I don't know if people are really thinking about, but like, this thing is, I think it's going to sell out. It's going to be interesting to see how they promote this thing, like, because I think in America, a lot of it is like, it's over there, like, as far as like All In and the promotion and how big it feels. Like, it's like, oh yeah, we're not going, so we'll watch it on TV, but it's not like it's here. Like, we have like a easy opportunity to get there where we don't have to fly 6 hours, hotel, transportation, food, tickets. Like, that's like, I imagine it's not crazy, but it's not exactly feasible either. I'm thinking about this and I'm like, depending on what the tickets cost, like, hell, I mean, I don't even know if I have to buy a ticket, honestly, but I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
Insider Rich.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty excited about this whole thing, jumping off. It was I guess we can go forward with that. Let's talk about another announcement for a show. So earlier this year, AEW dropped their pay-per-view schedule. I think back at Revolution, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds about right.
And then they showed all their pay-per-view dates and everything else like that. And a lot of people had concerns. They were like, why would you do this? Because then you just tell WWE what you're going to do. And my thought on that was like, it doesn't matter if you tell them now or later. They're going to just like fuck with it either way. It doesn't really matter. But inevitably, WWE has come to fuck with the last pay-per-view of the year for AEW. So they're in Orlando. AEW World's End is at the UCF Edition Financial Arena. Nice arena.
Same place they had Revolution 2022.
Yep. And WWE announced they will be doing a house show in Orlando, which I assume is going to be what was the Amway Center. I don't know if it's still named that.
Okay.
But the Amway Center is the bigger building. It's directly off the highway.
Yep, it's right off 275 off like exit 83 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's
why I just gave y'all the exit numbers as if y'all give a fuck. I don't know, but it's like the point is like the interstate that goes from Tampa to Orlando. All you gotta do is get right off.
Yeah, and with the if you're in a car on I-4, you're gonna take an exit, like a Cape Canaveral exit or whatever, and then you're gonna have to ride for like another 10 or 15 minutes to get to the right exit to get off to do. It's like out the way, essentially. The AEW.
It's on the other side of Orlando, the far other side. Like yeah.
And then
like you probably gotta you're probably faster taking the toll road.
Yeah, yeah.
taking the interstate. Yeah,
you are. But then like the Amway, that is like at the end of Orlando, kind of like on the regular highway. So either way, I think it's about a 20-minute, and when you're in Orlando, it's 20 minutes to get anywhere. So that's like how long it would take you to drive both or whatever. But the point of this, I saw a lot of people saying, so what? It's a house show. I'm like, well, it's going to be that Christmas house show. So it's loaded up automatically. Now
you're like to see like one of Cena's last matches on that thing.
Now it's head to head with a pay-per-view.
Yep.
Do you think they're not going to like call everybody and their mother on this thing?
Yep.
I wouldn't underestimate even like calling The Rock for this thing. They're trying to fuck with the local attendance, and what's to stop them from being like, we're gonna air this thing, and
on Peacock, like how they see those like Beast in the East thing. The funny part about it is like thinking it's gonna fuck with attendance. Like it's a 6,000 seat arena or something. That UCF arena. It's like
I think it's like 8. I think it's 8.
Okay, 8. It's not that big. Like I don't know what it's going to accomplish.
And the building that WWE's running is like a 14,000 seat.
Right, but my point is they're going to do good. Like maybe the whole point is like we're going to draw more to you during your pay-per-view, but it's like cool. I still sold out my building probably. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, because they will easily sell out Orlando, I think, for this, and then think about
especially if Omega's back by that point in time.
Yeah. You got the C2 finals, I imagine, on that thing.
Yeah.
So, this is WWE's playbook. You ever read Death of the Territories? In the old days, what they used to do is run marathon house shows like the night before in the same building or whatever that people like local NWA shows would be at the next day. And then, like, the crowd would be dead and tired by the time they showed up the next night, and there would be bad reactions and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things they used to do back then. But, the new WWE that, everyone claims is, it's a new day. It's like, no, man, these people all had the same teacher.
And Vince, it's a point. Vince ain't even there no more.
They all had the same teacher. All of them back there.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
All of them. Same teacher. And I don't think it's going to make AEW show be not sold out because I think Orlando is such a big kind of market, but
still
at the same time,
still gonna have over 100,000 pay-per-view buys, $50.
Right. The only thing I would probably see is if they air that shit, then it's like, oh, y'all trying to be funny. So,
I mean, when they do those takeovers or whatever they call them now during the same weekends like this, shit don't work.
Yeah.
They've been trying this stuff for years. Like, they still feel like if we just keep doing it, eventually it'll make a difference. It's like, bro, these differences are so small. And when this TV deal get announced, I don't know what they gonna do. Because I damn sure don't know what their fans gonna do. Their fans gonna react worse than what like WWE headquarters do.
Yeah, they did something today. You know how Danielson's main eventing Wembley Stadium this week. They mentioned Sheamus beating him on Raw today. So in 12 seconds at WrestleMania.
Oh,
so yeah. So
it's gonna be so funny because like, you know, the second he retires, like he's going to do their Hall of Fame shit. Like the second he retires. This shit's so funny. Like, yeah, you know, we beat this fucking guy in 12 seconds. But come on down and fly into where's WrestleMania? In Minnesota, right?
Vegas.
Oh yeah, come on down to Vegas. Go see Danielson go see Bryan one last time. Give the yes chant and the feel goods and all that kind of stuff. It crazy how that works, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we should talk about the card, AEW All In.
All right.
So let's get this pulled up. I'll pull this up. 1 second.
Yeah, man. So I was thinking about it. Just as I was pulling up match to make my background or whatever, I was thought to myself like, you know what? Ever since they did the gigantic angle with Mariah and Tony, it's like they have like they just basically coasted since then. They're like, that was it. That was the top. We can't peak that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
They have struggled. Almost these feuds have kind of gone in reverse, where it seemed like the night they did it, it was like, yeah, that's the hottest shit, or you know, it was just what everyone was talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, it's been like Toni Storm has come back dressed as like a whole new, like different character.
Yeah, painted on eyebrows and different hair. Yeah.
And then Mariah May's promos have not been where they needed to be.
Nope.
And then they've been doing squash matches with them. They did do one nice brawl between them.
Yes. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they did one pre-tape for Mariah that was really good. But
I must have missed that one. Was that one on Collision or something?
Yeah.
I just remember the one where she came out dressed as Tony, and then Shivani was out there just called her the B word. I was like, oh, I don't know if you should be doing that in 2024 to a woman's wrestler. That's
Speak, bitch.
You're really holding on to relying on your credentials as a pseudo legendary announcer or commentator, man. You couldn't get. I couldn't get away with that. Excalibur couldn't get away with that. Absolutely not. Nigel McGuinness couldn't get away with that.
Nah. So I guess we should just start there then. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm versus the Glamour Mariah May. So I worry about this match going too far into gimmick territory to where it's like goofy kind of. But they have the long-term angle on this thing. The criticism, you can't say there's no story going into this thing as compared to the women's match last year. No traditional four-way and all that, just on a whim. But yeah, King of the North has a good point on this. He said he wanted this one to be a dog collar match very badly. I do think this one... I
never thought about that, but that's funny.
I do think that could have been beneficial, especially like if they were both still blonde. But Tony's not anymore. But yeah, I think this should be some kind of hardcore match, but it's not. It's a singles match. What do you want to see it from this? Because is this like going to be about... I just don't know if it's going to lean into gimmickdom or if they're just going to cut the shit and be like, we about to have a stardom match out here.
I mean, given how I think they're going to have a serious match that's going to have a sprinkle of the goofiness of Tony's character into it. I don't think this will come from Mariah, but I think it's going to come from Tony. But just expect a flat out grudge match. There's going to be a sprinkle of the nonsense in there. Or not nonsense, meaning in a bad way, but like some of her charm of what got her over as a character is going to be in there, and I think it's part of like why her character changed with the weird eyebrows, whatever she's doing that I'm unaware of. But I think that's going to be a part of it. I think Mariah should win the belt, but yeah, like I think this is a match where it's like, hey, this is the peak of the Toni Storm character over the last year and change has been going on. This is the peak of since Mariah showed up and everything they've gone through over almost a year, like this needs to be the vote for it. Like, I don't think there's going to be a rematch like immediately following this. So this needs to be the thing where like this is the best match we can possibly have with our characters as they move on before they meet each other again in the future, in like a distant future, not like next pay-per-view. So. I would say like it would behoove them to go out there and have the best match they can.
Yeah, I'm picking Mariah to win the belt on this one, simply because I think it just ends kind of if Tony wins. Like I think it's like, all right, then what do you do now? And
also it's like you look at the Tony's been on champ for or had the belt or been in the top, like she had the belt, lost, and got it back. With Shida as a champion in between, like, but she's cleared out that roster pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless Tony, unless Britt Baker wants some.
From there, we got we got a mixed tag match in a pre-show. Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway against Will Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. I just want to talk about the summer of Tomohiro Ishii real quick.
Okay.
So Ishii says, you know what? I'm too hurt to do the G1 or whatever the story was, right?
What was I was unaware of this.
Like this man, like apparently,
remember he was on. They were trying to phase him out of the thing for like the last 3 years.
Yeah, so whatever they were like, all right, we'll give you Takeshita for Ishii. I think that's a fair trade, right? So Ishii comes in to AEW. This man started having tag matches, trios matches.
Yep.
That man gets to wrestle Swerve. This man gets a booking at Wembley. Like, he won.
Yeah.
Go to these podunk towns like in northern Japan or for night 8 of the G1, or I'm going to wrestle the AEW World Champion on national television. Which one would you like, James?
The funny part is, like, you said the podunk towns, like, early in the G1 historically, they always take their asses to Sapporo and get on them islands, and it's like, do you think they want to get on that plane to get on to them islands? I'd be like, man, I don't want to go see this shit. Like, man, because, like, a lot of the G1 is like, it feels like they just kind of like holding on. You'll have a Korakuen show, and then all of a sudden, like, they'll have that show in Osaka Indian Arena 1 that's always fucking awesome.
That man did not have to show up to B-Poo.
Yeah, man. So I don't. I get what you're saying. I'm not agreeing with you 100%, but I get what you're saying.
You know what else that man got this summer?
What?
USD.
God damn it.
United States dollars.
Oh my God. He got paid in USD and not yen. You an asshole. Oh my God.
Oh shit. I killed myself. But this man got a Wembley booking out all this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny whenever he gets Stokely alone by himself. It's gonna be funny when Statlander like steps up to him and she's like towering over him and is like essentially like do something, and then Ishii's like, nah, I can't. But I don't know how Ishii get down. Maybe all people are eligible for Tomohiro Ishii. I don't exactly know. What do Willow and Tomohiro Ishii talk about?
What do they talk about?
Yeah.
Well, seeing that like Ishii don't speak a lick of English and Willow, to my knowledge, don't speak a lick of Japanese, seeing that I heard her interaction with Tam over this year, I don't think they're talking about much. I don't even look. I saw the backstage shit when Willow walked up on Ishii, and I was like, Lord knows what Ishii is thinking right now. But he walked off with her, so whatever. Bro, I don't know what the hell about to happen this match. Like, the whole point of this match is, like, let Ishii get his hands on Stokely. And
this old Bobby Heenan-ass match.
Huh?
Like, this old Bobby Heenan-ass match, Stokely might as well show up in a weasel suit.
Bruh. You know you're gonna show up dressed like Mark Henry from Nation Domination shit again. He gonna dress up as something ridiculous.
That man might come out there as a Union Jack or some shit.
Oh, my God.
Or red coat, you know. But yeah, like I think about the happiness of Will Nightingale and then Tomohiro Ishii, and it's like, imagine if you had to draw a logo of them, like to get like a team logo. Like, what I wish they were like coordinating fits, because we know Ishii don't change the fit. Yeah, I know Ishii don't change the fit or the color scheme, nothing. So he's gonna have to keep what he got. But Willow can bust out some black and white. It
would be like a unicorn in the pit bull and then a rainbow over the top of them together or some shit like that. Right?
Run it.
They'll come up with, I mean, if this lasts more than one, they don't have no mixed tags in AEW, no mixed tag belts, but if they did, like, they would sell that merch.
Shit. Willow and Ishii. This got to be a Will Washington job. I haven't asked, but this smells like Will.
I don't know about no Will Washington job, but this is definitely James Boy Professional Wrestling. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
Who did this?
Who put this together? And why have they been in my notes in my phone? Like, what is this?
So we got a singles match for the AEW American Championship. MJF versus Will Ospreay. Of course, they had the 60-minute match maybe about a month ago at this point.
It's been that long.
Yeah, seemingly.
You know what's crazy? I put my mic on mute, thinking I muted, and then all of a sudden it just spat into a wastebasket, and this shit got caught on the mic. That's awesome. Go ahead, Rich.
So Ospreay has been like in different packages explaining why he can't do the Tiger Driver to anyone. Mm-hmm. The first time he said it, they didn't play it on national TV, and I thought he should have like ripped the TV off the wall or something like that, because the whole point of him looking like a jackass is to be explained at some point.
Right.
I would think. They eventually got it on TV, interspliced in like, a build-up video. MJF has been doing this whole thing like with like kind of a trolley America gimmick, but like Ospreay's had to essentially play in MJF land for this, because this whole thing could have easily been about, I'm coming for you, essentially like in your spot in the hierarchy, with Ospreay challenging MJF directly. But this thing has kind of turned into this America UK thing, and there's goofiness to it. Obviously there was a cheating match, and then MJF like working very hard to not get cheered by various racists and whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But Ospreay,
what was shit he did that was super racist like 2 weeks ago that we didn't talk about, we missed?
Oh shit.
He did something stupid.
I think Michael Oku had posted a workout video.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And then he called him a crack baby or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why would you call him that? Like, I just didn't get it. I was like, I don't understand. But this is the same MJF that was throwing drinks on black children. This was the same MJF that was about to square off with that black dude in Chicago, maybe? I don't know.
His Twitter from years ago had nigga all in it.
Yeah. Maybe the America gimmick is fitting. And he showed up dressed like Hulk Hogan to fight Michael Oku, by the way. Like he was wearing yellow and red and shit. So Ospreay's had to play in MJF land. So like Ospreay's cutting his promos basically like, going out of his way not to quote unquote insult the Americans, say, you know, I love you guys, but then it's like he's cutting his own dope, essentially. Like, he can't just like directly attack him on the mic. It's like he has to play this game. So part of that has hurt it for me, as far as the build. But this is, you know, I think this could have been a lot better.
I think it's still good. It could have been better, and especially when they dropped some of the things they were you know, that was a part of the thing at the beginning before they went to the American jingoistic stuff. Like when MJF said, you know, stuff about like, you know, you say you're restoring the feelings. I am the damn feeling, and like the metatextual, like
he ran away from that.
The metatextual argument about like MJF and his title reign last year, and how like people talked about like this company does not, the promotion does not feel the same, and then Ospreay showing up saying he's restoring the feeling, and MJF sitting at home rehabbing, being pissed off about that, and the insecurity of him being a heel, hearing that in the crowd that he loved and finally loved him, saying fuck that guy, he fucked it up. Now we got this other guy, and now he's, you know, I want to kill your new hero. That's far more compelling, and that's something he actually dropped at the beginning of this, and he's basically like completely ran away in the opposite direction from that. He doesn't want to, like, as opposed to him facing the part where like the failure of
his last gimmick or character,
the failure of the devil stuff or whatever else at the end with Adam Cole, and then like saying I'm just going to face to a head on or whatever else, and go back to being the heel I was, and show you how much this stuff got to me, and like showing you like the insecurity as a heel, which would have been more interesting. He touched on it for like one promo and then ran away from it to start something else new. And it's like, all right, man, that was like, you moved on to something less interesting because at the end of the day, he's a hokey classic wrestling fan. He always wants to pull out shit from the 80s.
It's almost, you know, and if I was a conspiratorial man, you know, it's almost like he didn't want to compete, you know?
I just think his natural instinct is to go to some shit that to go back to some like territorial shit. I just think that's his natural instinct, regardless of how much stupid shit he does in his wrestling matches. And by stupid shit, I mean like high risk stuff that the people that he watches and you know took parts of his game from as a character would never fucking do it in their matches. As much as like he wants to be a old school character but a new school wrestler. He always, his character is going to go to like the, what do you call it? The low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And people always talk about him being like a hack in that way. And it's like, I find somebody to be actually a feature and not a bug. He's doing that on purpose, but it's like, this was your time to actually step away from that, to do something interesting that way that like you kind of did with Punk, but Punk's the MJF whisperer, man. I think we have come as a character. We have to come to that conclusion. Like only MJF was able to pull.
No, Darby did. So did Wardlow.
But the Wardlow shit is just Triple H and Batista.
That's true.
And you know he watched that because he loves Triple H.
Look, Darby did. Like him and Darby was like,
I agree.
Awesome.
I agree. But Darby, he also has a history with Darby. And maybe it's a situation where like he can only do this with either people he either idolized and he can wrestle with them finally like Punk, or people that he actually has like, you know, like the Pillars that he has history with. Like maybe if there was ever a program with Swerve, he would dig into that and talk about their old history. I don't know. But it just seems like when he's wrestling guys, it turns into this gimmicks of like when he's doing this jingle, it's like, bro, I just saw this shit crash and burn with Kevin Owens 2017. This shit stinks.
Yep. Changed the belt along the way.
Yeah. That was a gimmick.
All that other stuff. So like, I think overall our point is like there was a more competitively sports based kind of ideology that is sold like so many big shows for New Japan Pro Wrestling and stuff like that. Like these are the things that were like ran away from in favor of.
I wasn't even thinking of the pro sports presentation. Bullshit. I was thinking of the, you know, MJF likes to do the work shoot stuff or whatever else. What's more meta than this guy showed up saying that he is going to restore the feeling, and who the hell else could he be talking about other than me in my title reign before or whatever else? So therefore, I'm going to kill him. Like, that is the work insidery stuff that he says he claims to love so much. Go with that. That's more compelling than this.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, some people are into it or whatever, and it's not like it's bad.
I'm into it too, but I would have been more. But I was more into it before we got into the stuff. And like, don't be wrong, like, it looked like you having a blast with the whole like USA thing, or whatever. But like, I've seen it so many times. You're not gonna do it any better any time. The other 20 times I've seen someone do this.
Yeah. So from there. I guess I'm taking Will Ospreay to finally hit the Tiger Driver and then be like, fuck this asshole. Wow.
Well, my question.
Bow.
I have to see it to believe that MJF is going to be beaten clean 100% and put away without some bullshit involving the ring or Daniel Garcia coming back and screwing him over. Because at the end of the day, with all MJF matches and all feuds, no one ever really wins and no one ever truly loses. No one ever gets finished. It's always mitigating circumstances or karma coming back to bite someone in the ass. It's never someone just flat out beaten. Unless you're Danielson. Because Danielson doesn't care.
And even he hit him with a fucking fire extinguisher before he beat him.
Right. But he did make him tap out.
So
I don't know if Garcia resigned, but the door is still open. And also, Garcia is always going to be the same size he was a few weeks ago, a month ago, whatever else. So for me to imagine WWE's going to sign him makes me doubtful.
We got a coffin match for the TNT Championship between Jack Perry and Darby Allin.
Yep.
We don't know if you don't know what these guys are about to do to each other, you have been under a rock.
Yeah.
Both of these guys have competed in coffin matches. We know they're both crazy. They're
great success, both of them.
They're among like two of the greatest pay-per-view performers in this company's history.
Yep.
Obviously pillars. They've got, I feel like they are in, obviously they're not in their like their initial stages anymore. They're in the next stage or whatever, of whatever the fuck they're gonna end up being. And they feel like natural rivals that really don't have a ton of, it's like they have a lot of history, but they don't have a lot of times where they've crossed paths. So like almost like that time apart has almost made it more compelling of them coming together. They are going to kick each other's ass, and this is going to be bloody. This is going to be violent. This is going to be innovative, and this is a steal the show candidate.
Yeah, I was laughing because you said like their appearances have both changed. Like, yeah, you got the scapegoat with the beard looking grungy, and now it has this dirty ass looking belt plate on center plate for his belt, and then like Darby out here with the Killer Cam pink fur joint, like he killed the damn Muppet or whatever else everywhere he goes now, as opposed to wearing black and white all the time. So yeah, they have changed a little bit, but yeah, man.
But bro, did you see the video? Like, I think he uploaded it today, so you might not have seen it. It was Jack,
Darby.
No, Jack. He actually like made the belt himself. I thought he just spray painted it or whatever. But this man, like,
he threw it in dirt and shit, and then he took the center plate off. I saw a clip of that. I didn't know it was him that was doing it though.
Yeah, he like burned the whole shit off, and then like threw paint on it and like put a different strap on it. That shit is hard. Like when you see it at the end or whatever. But this is going to be spectacular.
That's gonna be great.
I'm all in on this, no pun intended. I think some of Darby's promos have been funny.
I think the one he did the other day was hilarious. He's like, I forgot what he said, but I remember just like howling at it. I was like, he put this. Oh, I was like, cook him. He basically like just read him for filth. They're like, yeah, man, you remember what he said? Because I was like, bro, he was eating him up.
He said some shit about, he said when the Bucks hired this guy, he was like, I had never heard of him or whatever. And he was like, it's just going to be them hiring their friends. And then, now look at it, he's in the elite. He said one other thing that, he was like, I wish you got fired last year or whatever from the shit that you did or whatever. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, they introduced
Darby is a punk guy.
Look, I was like, I didn't even think about that, but I was like, they once introduced Darby on being the Elite. Shut up! Don't remember that. Like,
I was unaware of that. Totally.
Don't remember this. But whatever the case is,
we also got to remember, like, you know, the Young Bucks are asshole heels now in kayfabe. So
yeah.
So,
you know, I think.
He did hit him with that Draymond and Paul Pierce, like, if you left, the fans will miss you. I was like, oh
yeah.
Cook him, Darby. Put his ass on an open grill, on open flame. Let it burn. He gave him the business. I liked it. A couple weeks I was like, they haven't really done they haven't done like the vignette thing with Darby yet, and all of a sudden they showed it. I was like, here it comes, and boy, he gave me what I was not expecting. That was stiff. He hit that man right in his throat.
So that makes me think Jack Perry's gonna win this match. So it's like when you go that hard in the promos, it's like, oh, you about to lose. And you know, with Jack's, you know, custom belt and shit like that, a lot of questions like, are they going to bring out a glass coffin?
Oh my god,
the real glass coffin. James, have you thought about the fact we're coming back to the scene of the crime? The real glass in Wembley, crime. Jack Perry. The scene of the crime. He does real glass at Wembley.
They're going to bring out glass. Well, I mean, it's Darby. So, yeah, like we saw it. They're going to bring out glass for Darby anyway.
Jack Perry is about to... Bro, he's so great. Yeah, this is going to be a stunt show. I just want to know what the fuck Darby's jumping off of. Yeah, this is what I want. I want the young guys facing each other. You know, let's get it. You know, I imagine this is what it feels like when, you know, motherfuckers see like Yoda Tsuji face off with Umino or some shit, and they be excited. It's like, hell yeah. Like AEW is so rarely giving us these kind of matches or whatever, and it's like, it's cool it's on a big stage like this, but it's like, fuck, I want to see these guys going against each other more, competing.
Well, I mean, these guys all got to stop getting suspended and injured. Because Guevara gets suspended, then Darby almost dies 5 times in 5 weeks, and then Jack gets his ass suspended, and then goes to Japan, and then it's been a lot of that. Like, a lot of these pillars keep getting injured or suspended. Maybe if they stop, they would face each other more.
Let's get it.
But yeah, like I mean, as you mentioned, it's definitely still the match of the night easily.
We got a singles match for the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker. I don't know what to say about this match. I think this also started similarly hot in the same way the other women's match did. And this one, like, I think it hasn't like cooled off, but it's just like perpetually just got a little bit like less each week or whatever.
So you're saying that your interest has gone down as Camilla showed up?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's almost as if I wanted to see these two wrestle each other, and then a heavy shows up, and I know that's going to be involved in the match, and it kills my interest for wanting to see this.
Yeah. I would have liked to see more promos on each other, because I think Britt did a good job with her promos, and Mercedes' promos were decent for what they were. But, you know, once Camille's around, now she's kind of leaning more into gimmick territory, the overreactions, Camille doing all the dirty work for her. There was, you know, a kind of a, I would say, proto-conspiracy. There were some people that I think that I respect their opinions that were pointing this out, but then I saw like crazies parroting the same thing. Like, as far as like, you know, Britt maybe moving slowly, you know, to get to the ring.
Maybe.
All this
regardless of whatever her intention was, she was definitely moving slowly.
I'm like, I didn't notice it in real time. The only thing I noticed,
I watched it in real time. I was like, why is he moving so slow? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
I didn't put it together until I saw someone mention. I was like, huh. If you know, if Britt didn't do a million jobs for a million people, I would be like, yeah, this is exactly what she's doing. But I've seen her do too many jobs for people to be thinking that why would she do this?
The only thing I looked at was like, why is she doing this? Is like when she looked dead in the camera or whatever. I'm like, yo, just like scrap with her or whatever. But I think some of that,
like her walking up, her getting the apron, and then her put on the glove. Is supposed to like as you're walking up, you can put the glove on. I was like, you taking your sweet ass time. What the fuck
you gotta make sure the camera can see you. You won't want to put it on in the middle of like a crowd where they can't see you do the gimmick.
But if you already have it on, you can just go ahead and do it. As opposed to waste more time and make everybody look like dumbasses.
I don't think Mercedes looked dumb, but I don't know. I think
Mercedes had a weapon in her hand. She got in the ring and then she just basically forgot how to fight with a weapon in her hand.
Sure.
She looked kind of like a dumbass.
Sure.
Camille not being able to pull her out the ring, kind of like a dumbass.
Shook. You know.
So somebody, all right. Zack Sabre Jr. said over under 3.5 stars. I'm pounding that under.
I'm gonna take the 3.5. I'm gonna push.
Oh, you pushing?
I'm gonna push on that.
Coward.
I think that's it.
No hearts.
I think that's it. You know,
scared money don't make no money. Pound that under.
All right. I'll take the over then. Let's go 3 3/4.
I'll go under, and I would like to be pleasantly surprised if they go out there and have a more than a very good match. I ain't buying it. My whole time been like, look, whatever happens, the match is gonna be that match, and it's a singles match with Britt Baker. Singles match with Britt Baker don't involve a bunch of blood. It tends to be under 3.5. So I'm pounding it. I don't give a damn how good Mercedes is.
I'm about to say, this sounds like you doubting Mercedes Moné.
I'm down her opponent. I damn sure doing that. If this is a tag match, easy over.
The only thing that gives me pause is Camille being there. I don't know what she's gonna do.
She ain't gonna make the match better.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody's gonna come neutralize her essentially, and then like whatever the fuck. But I don't know. Then we got a casino gauntlet for a future AEW World Championship match, and if you look at this card on paper, you will notice tons of people missing.
Yeah,
such as Hangman Page, such as Kazuchika Okada, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. Should I keep going?
Has John Moxley been announced?
No. No. Claudio Castagnoli, you know.
Claudio versus Okada in Cardiff.
I know we all liked the casino gauntlets, and I think people cheered for them a little too hard. I'm going to say now, because how the fuck do you not put Kazuchika Okada in a singles match in a stadium? But much like Claudio, hold on. Okay. Much like Claudio Castagnoli was telling Kazuchika Okada he wants the real Okada, this is a rite of passage for Kazuchika Okada, just like Kenny Omega, who he had to hear, I want the real Kenny Omega. Just like that, he has to go to Wembley Stadium and not be in a singles match either. This is dumb. Like,
I forgot it. Well, at least last year was like, we're doing the promoter's trick of putting Takeshita Omega on the show the week after to sell the pay-per-view box, and it worked. What they're putting it on? They're giving this away on free pay-per-view. And keep in mind, like, they were doing those tag matches at the end of last year with Okada, and Claudio on the other side to help promote the Dome match between Danielson and Okada. I've wanted to see this match for like 9 months now.
Look, this did not get moved off of the show. This was never booked for the show.
I know that. That makes it frustrating. That's a part of the frustration.
Yeah, this is bad.
Like when they announced that battle, that thing, I was like, bro, Hangman's is gonna be putting this shit, isn't he? Remember I said that? What are they doing?
Man, I think it
has
gone.
We talked about this last week, right? Like we were like, hey, bro, I think they're putting him on this fucking thing. It makes no fucking sense.
So, like, a lot of people that I'm friends with, like, do not understand all right, so we got Swerve and Danielson, the main event. That's what they went with, right? Career title situation, stipulation. We know Danielson's not retiring. Danielson seems to be the heavy favorite. Strap him up. oh, they're going to do Swerve and Hangman a couple weeks later. You'll still get the match you want or whatever. The part that people want is Swerve versus Hangman for the belt. You inherently make it a weaker match 1 week later, 2 weeks later, 2 months later without the belt. Now, Hangman Page is not even getting a singles match at Wembley. Malpractice.
Well, there's that. There's also the part where like that can that could possibly make the main event worse. Is like Hangman comes out and screws Swerve.
Pack it up, throw it in a river.
Which then leads to they're so mad at each other they're got to do a lights out match.
Yeah. I think people have Jeff Jarrett is going to definitely be in this thing. He's been all over television to not be in it.
The saving grace for any of this thing where Hangman has been brought back to do this shit is like Hangman gets to get his hands on Jarrett. That's like the only saving grace on any of this shit. So at least for me, Hangman is not my special guy. This is a disservice to what they've done bringing him back. Like, if you told me that Kazuchika Okada, Adam Page, Jon Moxley, and Kenny Omega were not going to be on this show in a single match, I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing fundamentally? What are we doing? Isn't that insane? Doesn't that sound insane?
Yes. Like, it just feels like they decided on 5 big matches and then they were like, there's a curfew here. We can't just go as long as we want. But it seems like any other AEW pay-per-view, it's like, yeah, it seems like they got room for, whoever the fuck. But this Casino Gauntlet thing is like, yeah, Ricochet, that's a good point. He's probably going to be in this thing too.
Cool.
Are they going to bring anybody that's not in the company, that's going to, or Lashley, they could bring out, whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. And then the winner of this gets the World Championship match. Are they cashing this in the same night? Are they cashing this in, basically saying, is this for All Out? Is this for TV? Who fucking knows? But
I don't know what they're going to do to brief.
Not happy about this.
The chip.
I think this is bad. The match will probably be awesome. Orange Cassidy's coming out first, so the reason he got that is he's gonna get his full entrance at Wembley Stadium and not have to speed up for anybody. That's why it would have been funny.
Well, first off, why the fuck are you gonna go first in a gauntlet match?
Because it can end at any time. It's not a gauntlet like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah. So
look, I will say this. I appreciate the first fall wins at any point. In fact, they need to add that to Blood and Guts, but whatever. But yeah, like, the match is gonna be great. That's not the problem. AEW so deep, you could threw a combination of a lot of people in there and they had an awesome match. That's not the problem. The problem is, like, you have people that you are paying a shit ton of money that have came in here and have, like, helped make the company what it is, or are the hottest act in, or the hottest, like, act in the company, or the hottest thing going on in the company, and you said throw them in a multi-man. Like, that's just not fundamentally sound work. You paying Okada how much to come here like once every 2 weeks? You paying Hangman how much, and he been gone for how much the last year and a half or 2 years, and he just come back and he's hot as fish grease, and you doing this? That's goofy. Where is Jon Moxley?
Well, soon look. One day we'll know. But up next,
you know Moxley's on the deal, right? He's on the poster. I saw him on the poster.
Oh, he is?
I saw him on the poster like today. And I was like, he's even going to be on the show?
He's advertised for something too out there. I don't know what it is, but it's not associated with AEW. So it's like, he's going to be there. So,
maybe he shows up in the thing. Maybe he shows up in it. Fine. Whatever. Maybe. I would have rather seen him in an advertised match. Eddie Kingston just came back. What's he doing?
Eddie Kingston not doing nothing. He on the couch.
I thought he just showed back up. No,
nah, he was on his couch like with a leg brace on.
Ah, shit. All right.
Yeah, he's did a promo.
Okay.
Nah, whatever Mox does, he can leave the jujitsu, wear his hat. Just come back as your regular self.
Keener said James' leg is broken. He broke his leg months ago.
He'll never walk again, James.
This is like enough of this pro wrestling. He'll never walk again bullshit. He gonna get his ass back in that ring any day now. Stop it.
But
only person with a broke leg that's out this long is Adam Cole. That's it.
That guy, man, feel bad for him, kind of. But
bro? Did the bone not heal?
Did
the bone not heal?
It was all good just a year ago,
bro. He tore his shit. He broke his shit? What, September? September. It's almost September.
I know. That boy got brittle bones. Small feet.
They shouldn't. I can't even say it because he landed fucked up. Like what's crazier? What's crazier? How long Jamie Hayter's been out, or how long he's been out? What's crazier? Because at least shoulders are tricky. At least shoulders are tricky historically.
Yeah, I was gonna say like shoulders, like that involves lifting over the head. There's a lot of weird stuff.
It's a there's all this kind of shit with your rotator cuff. It's
like you might not even be able to wipe your ass properly, like with a fucked up shoulder, like so.
Yeah. Remember, I was in here, I was in this bitch. I couldn't go above my right shoulder. I couldn't go this high without feeling pain for like the whole last half of last year.
Yeah. I'll go with the Cole thing just because it's like, hey, bro, I thought it was just an ankle. Like, what happened? Like, but yeah, but we talked about Kazuchika Okada and Heyman Page, but who does get a singles match? Hook gets a singles match for the FTW Championship. Wrestling against Chris Jericho gets you booked. So Hook versus Chris Jericho for this belt. Seems like this is the goal of this entire thing. James, I want you to take a guess when Hook versus Chris Jericho started.
Dynasty?
No. It started in March.
Revolution?
Before that, like,
my God.
Remember the first time they actually like I think there was some all-star match at Revolution where Hook and Jericho like kind of like paired off or whatever. And then do you remember Lion Hook? The team?
Yes.
This thing has been going on multiple chapters of this thing. So
worst feud contender.
Seems like this is leading to Hook getting his belt back for his dad.
Worst feud contender. Not saying it's gonna win. Whatever ridiculous thing that happens in WWE is gonna win. But worst AEW worst feud contender. Yeah.
I mean, you do have the Elite versus AEW.
This is so much worse. Are you kidding me?
But
look, AEW versus the Elite, like you got Anarchy in the Arena, you got Blood and Guts. What the fuck is this have?
Has a learning tree. Hi guys. Jericho and Hook. Regular rules match. Actually, no, it's FTW, so there are no rules. We did get the For the World Championship. We got a Jericho and Suzuki. We got a Jericho and Shibata. And I guess all the key to Chris Jericho versus Hook is just removing Hook from the feud. Like that's
the Jericho Shibata match was great. The Joe in Jericho match was really good too. And then had the ending where they murdered Joe with the forklift.
Yep.
The common denominator, none of this stuff working is Hook. Hook is the problem. Remove the cancer. Not saying he's a cancerous person. He's saying hey, the problem is him. He stinks. He's not good enough to be on TV right now. Take him off. Put Jericho in there with somebody else. Because when he's in there with somebody else, like Joe, like Shibata, it's been good. Then he has to go out there and wrestle Hook again, and it fucking sucks. Because Hook's not good. Stop this. Leave it alone. I don't give a damn if his dad's on commentary.
I'm glad we've come to the correct analysis on this. Never count out Chris.
Hook. Y'all was on that Hook shit back then. I was like, nah, man, this man, no, he ain't got it. And y'all like, he gonna get there. Well, where are we? We in year 3 right now, right?
It's time to cut them losses. Like,
hey man, look, remember the end of the Kanye West, the last call part? When he was talking about, like, he had to deal with Capital and it was falling through, and he turns around and like, see if I can get a deal with Rockefeller. They need to see if he can get that deal with NXT. See if Sean will take him in. Get him off my fucking screen. He's not charismatic. What does he do well? What does he do well as a pro wrestler?
He does not talk well.
He doesn't talk well.
Because you don't
see what he says. Trying to throw down people that are way too big for him to be trying to throw around. They got to jump up for him to throw it around. He
doesn't punch well.
And he's a terrible striker. Forget doesn't punch well. He's a terrible striker. Only thing he does well is suplex when he's throwing dudes that are way too big for him to be thrown around. In theory.
And he used to be cool, and then like the talking, like
he got exposed.
Kind of slices that,
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he looks slightly older than he did. Obviously, that's gonna happen or whatever. But I think the appeal of it was like, he had a youthful look during those times where he was like, maybe, I don't know how old he was then, but this is like 4 years ago at this point. When we were looking at this guy and he was like just this young kind of guy, like he's like starting to change or whatever, obviously because you're going to grow up and shit. So like there's a little bit of like the, like in Cobra Kai, like we see all these kids when they started in season 1, right? We saw what they look like and what they look like now. That's what is happening to Hook right now. It's like, oh, buddy, like you playing like this teenager, you're like 25, 26 now. Like that's what it kind of looks like or whatever. So,
like, bro, they're pushing him instead of Dante Martin. Can we knock it the fuck off?
Yeah. They got him wearing a pilot suit. 3-way match for I'm gonna take Hook on this. And yeah, Tommy Billington is wrestling Chris Jericho.
Another person way better than Hook.
That's gonna be awesome.
Kingdom of Michigan, Jericho versus Suzuki when they did that.
Yeah. I brought that up.
Oh my bad, I missed that.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? Like, Jericho has been in the shit since that stupid shit got brought up. That wasn't even a rumor, or it wasn't even like it was gossip. And there's not even a credible allegation. It's rumors of a credible allegation. And now we deal from that. He's been out here trying to make this shit work with Hook, and Hook has been dragging him even further and further into the depths of hell.
And none of this is sticking to Jericho. Jericho's over.
Right, because you're over with the high guys. Yes.
Got his unit around him.
But then he comes down to the ring, and then he has to fucking wrestle with Hook, and it's killing him. Hook comes out. Hook was going out there with Shibata and Joe. Joe comes out to a big pop. Shibata comes out to a big pop. Hook comes out there to no pop. And then they took him off TV for a while, and then brought Hook back, and he got barely above nothing of a pop. Cut the cord. Cut the shit.
It's a wrap.
Grab a tag rope.
3-way tag. Speaking of that, maybe not. 3-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR had back-to-back matches against the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks. The Acclaimed one went to a 30-minute draw on Collision. Turned into a really good match by the end of it. The last 10 minutes are really good.
Okay.
And because I noticed immediately, I was like, "Oh shit, they're coming out to the ring. It's 9:25. This is main event. They're going fucking." I was like, they're going 30 minutes. Like, and then I was like, all right. Sat and watched it. Happy for Floyd. Floyd was there front row. I think the Acclaimed have actually like done a good job I know that's not a popular opinion.
I think people are so out on Caster. The things I've been seeing is like, why can't they get him? Why can't they get Bowens away from him?
Yeah, I think that. They've clearly they've made a conscious decision to stop him from rapping to the ring.
Yep.
Like that's kind of like it's just like, I think the next phase of the act, I think. And they let him go a cappella, and that was bad too. Like, but he's not rapping to the ring. Like, so there's like a tweaked presentation on that. I can appreciate that. I think FTR is the same FTR they've always been for 4 years now. There's nothing else there for them, and I think the Bucks are in Struggleville right now. They're just like they're not bringing it, like they're not inspiring at the moment. They are, and this hurts me to say, it's like they've had these belts, and whether it's their contracts, whether it's whatever the fuck, they've done nothing with these things, and now we get to this match, and this clearly looks like a match to me that was not the first choice. I feel like,
you know what it's like a match like? It's like a match that you booked in 2023, except you planned on doing it back then in 2023 for 2024, and this is how you got here. It is like, hey man, you don't have to book all these matches a year in advance. Sometimes like that looked good like in 2022, 2023, that looked like a good ass match. Right now, not so much.
I think the Bucks' original plan was facing Edge and Christian until Copeland got hurt, and then Christian couldn't turn, so he had to double down with the group. So we were left with FTR and the Acclaimed, who in their own right, I think the most interesting part of this thing has been the FTR versus Acclaimed stuff, because the Bucks have done nothing with the Acclaimed really to, they had the match that wasn't great, and then they did the goofy finish.
Blood and Guts.
Yeah, that's true. They were in Blood and Guts together. Yeah. And
I think Blood and Guts did a lot of work, did a lot of help for them, because like I thought, at that time I was like, hey, they in there with Darby and tagging with Darby Swerve and Mark Briscoe. They got to bring it. They brought it. I thought Bowens and Caster both like showed that like they need another run or need another shot at the top of the
They're definitely working very hard to be like, we're not getting carried in this thing.
Right.
We know we're in there with FTR and the Bucks, but we stand for something too. Like, we have a legacy here too.
Now, once they finally get the final touches of getting Billy Gunn the fuck out of there, then we'll really be cooking with grease.
Yeah. So, like, I think that's something to keep an eye on. Like, I know people will hear this and be like, what are you talking about with the Acclaim? I just think they're about to turn a corner. Like, whether they're going to turn heel, whether they're going to be reinvigorated and actually win the belts. I don't think they're going to win them in this match. This, to me, screams the Young Bucks retaining. And,
Man.
like, they've been great on promos when they've actually cut promos, including Caster.
Yeah.
And then
I don't
like
what
the stuff
do you think
they've been on Collision, and they were cutting promos in FTR's face,
right,
roasting them.
Yep.
And then that 30-minute match they had, that match was awesome by the end. So
you mean until FTR came out with the bullshit?
No, the FTR versus Acclaim match.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. Because I did like the end of FTR, or not FTR, the end of Acclaim versus Young Bucks until FTR came out.
Yeah. I think the Bucks got to show us something. Like, you guys are like, you're the greatest tag team of all time. Let's remember that you still have to compete. Let's remember, like, hey, this is All In. Can you give us the Mad Nick that we know is in there, or is that Mad Nick slowly fading away? I don't know. They've been great in all their big matches this year. Let's not take that away. The stuff between the big matches has been a struggle. Like, and when I say great, Sting and Darby, that shit doesn't happen as good as it does without the Young Bucks.
Okay, so obviously we're both going to say Danielson and Ospreay is the best match in AEW this year, or the best match of the year, right?
That or the Takeshita match, Swerve match. I think you're picking out of those three.
Well, I was gonna say like, is that the best non-Ospreay match in AEW this year?
What Sting and Darby
the
versus
Sting retirement match, is that the best non-Ospreay match in AEW this year?
There is a chance it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Takeshita and Darby Allin would fucking rule too.
It did. I don't think it was as good as that though, because that match was insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm gonna take the Bucks to win.
Did you know? Quiet as it kept was that also the Young Bucks retirement match too? It's like, it ain't getting better. It ain't getting no better than this, boys. Time to put our feet up and coast and go into retirement.
Hey, shout out to Barry Bloom. You know,
I think they got one in them. Look, it's gonna take me a full year for me to rip right the Young Bucks off of them. Like, just not coming through for me to be like they're done. But man, it's like they are definitely not the level that they have historically been at. That I've watched them. They just haven't been. There's been moments. There's been blood and guts. There's been anarchy in the arena. There's been the Sting match, but it's been this as opposed to when it was just just excellence all the way through.
Just close your eyes and be like, yeah, lights out, 4.5, easy.
Yeah.
4-way London ladder match. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. So this was announced now as a 4-way London ladder match.
Do you know the fourth team yet?
No, because there's like a wild card winner set to happen before that. I don't know, like some type of qualifying match or some shit.
I think a really good match because no one has a job.
We was gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Patriarchy is Christian Cage, Kill Switch, Nick Wayne, Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, and the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews.
Yep.
House of Black just got involved. Give me a stip where no one gets pinned now.
No. Here's the thing also. I understand you're going to be like, hey, give me a stip where no one has to do a job. But look, man, Christian Cage in that match too. Christian Cage ain't really laying down for nobody either. So
that's true.
It ain't just them. I understand why you want to say it's just them, but it ain't just them.
But
luckily, Christian has built up enough goodwill to where we ignore the part where he doesn't be laying down. He doesn't lay down that often. Because who he laid down to besides Kenny Omega? He didn't lay down for Edge. Or sorry, for Big
He said, I quit.
He said, I quit. He said, fuck you niggas.
Jack Perry literally buried him.
He got dropped in the casket. That is not pinned.
That is
not pinned. That is not submitted.
Yeah.
Can't be touched. Can't be stopped. Can't be moved. Can't be rocked.
Hey.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Look, at least be over when you're doing this stuff.
That's what I said. At least do a good enough job hiding your hand that you doing this. But I don't peep you, Christian. You're not slick. Yeah, you're not slick. Look, and you lucky I love what you've done. Otherwise, because if you won I'd be burying you under the sun for this. And he also hiding because he out here. I'll do the match. I'll do the match. And let's make a ladder match. And then, look, they'll blame it on them, not me. Evil genius.
Yep, snuck out the back door again.
Yep. He's not slick, though. I'm on to your ways, Christian Cage.
I mean, he put Swerve over,
Oh, yeah, that's true. So Swerve and Kenny Omega. He been with the company since 2022.
Look, world title matches. If I'm going to lose, it's going to matter.
Yeah.
Whatever. I like Christian.
Same here. Don't bother me none. Yeah. I'm just aware.
Look, just keep y'all eyes open.
Look, Christian Cage and Not Takahashi. I know they're political. I don't care. I have fun when I watch them.
But there's gonna be 12 guys in this match. It's gonna be a ladder match. They love fucking ladder matches in this promotion. There seems to be one every other month. Anybody can win this because no one's gonna get pinned, so everyone can win. I am fearful they're gonna just put them back on the House of Black, and those belts are just gonna go to die once again with them. But it ain't like, they're really like that alive at the moment anyway.
No, they did.
I mean,
remember, they got one person holding all 3 belts right now. So
I remember the days of the Elite versus Death Triangle and hearing people complaining and all this other shit. Well, how about it now, motherfuckers? How about it now?
Yep.
Yeah, that's, the entire usage of these belts since the end of that shit. You could have like erased them shit. Like, you can Men in Black flashy thing these and forget and wipe them from existence, and we wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah. Like, what's gonna save these things? Is it gonna have to be United Empire of Aussie Open and Ospreay saving these?
I think that's like one of the
that save them?
That's one of the only hopes. Unless you give them to like the Bucks and Jack Perry or something, but they've already got like belts. So
yep.
Trying to think anybody else. Like, could you give FTR a partner? But it's just another kind of FTR thing. Then you're taking them away.
Well, their partner would be Ricky Starks, wouldn't it? That's how
you give the trios to the Learning Tree.
You could
Jericho, Bill, and Brian Keith.
Yeah, you know what? Sign me up. Just get away from Hook. just get Jericho away from Hook. Yeah, that needs to be the next move. I need to see Christian and the Patriarchy versus Jericho and the Learning Tree. Sign me up.
Yeah. Top Flight Ninja ready. Let's do that.
That's who those belts are supposed to be meant for. People like that. And I don't mean it in a Booker T Triple H way. I mean it as far as like young people should get titles, have high profile matches, whatever else, while they're still trying to figure out like where they're going to go in the cards. Yes. Like, the
if it was me,
should have these belts.
If it was me, I would be putting the wild card winners as Top Flight and Andretti in this.
You know who really should have these belts, right?
Who?
The Best Friends.
This is sick, and you know that.
They should have had these belts.
Knowing the place you about to show up in like a week or two's time, I don't know the date.
If they had created these belts at the start of the promotion, Best Friends would have absolutely won these belts. Are you disagreeing with me?
Look, they could have won the tag team belts, and it never happened. So I have no confidence.
No. If by Best Friends you mean Trent and Orange, yes.
This is just Chuck E. T. hate. Like, we know that man balls out in these tag matches. Long pause. So we've done all the matches except one. Title versus career for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson. Last week, Swerve beat the holy living shit out of Will Yuta, knocked him out for the finish.
Rich, did you hear Alvarez talk about this match?
I did not.
He wondered out loud why this match had Will Yuta get anything in it.
Because Will Yuta is not a job guy. That's like
exactly, Rich. He said this should have been a slaughter. And then Vinny
like Swerve's not 7 foot tall.
Right.
Like 380 pounds. No.
Rich, it was funny because Alvarez says this should have been a slaughter. And then Vinny goes, it was a slaughter. What the fuck are you talking about, Brian?
He literally put this man's arms.
He put him in full mount and then punched it and then beat him to sleep.
Death.
He beat that nigga to sleep. It had to be TKO'd. Ref stoppage. That is a slaughter. What are you talking about? Because he got the seat belt near fall in. That was his last gas. He got beat to sleep after that. It's over. That was a slaughter. I couldn't believe he said that shit. And then made it funny was like, Vinny was like, it was a slaughter. And he read through his notes like, this was a slaughter. What are you talking about, Brian?
What the fuck, Brian? Oh shit.
He shouldn't have sold nothing. He's like during when Vinny was going through his notes, he's like, Yuta starts punching him, and then Swerve starts laughing like a murder movie villain. I started dying laughing. Like, bro, what are you talking about, Brian? What are you talking about? He literally started no-selling this man's attacks like he was a geek.
Yeah. So Brian Dennison sitting front row because he bought his ticket. I guess he could have just managed the man at ringside, but he didn't.
He didn't want to get any blood on his denim.
He didn't want to work that night. He wanted to just be a fan. So
God damn it.
You can't say the word fan no more without.
You cannot.
It sounded funny.
He just wanted to be a freaky ass. It was what? What?
So this all breaks down kind of to where Swerve like just snaps, beat the shit out of this man. Danielson eventually tries to come save him, but Swerve jumps out the ring. Swerve's like, man, fuck all the pleasantries. I'm gonna fucking cripple you. I'm gonna end your career. All this or whatever, kind of leaning all the way on the other side on this, and Danielson just staring at him, kind of gets caught lacking. Swerve like slinks down, gives him a house call. Him meaning Danielson kicks the shit out of him, and then he hits a yes chant in the ring very slowly.
Yes. The match ended when Yuta caught 3 consecutive unanswered house calls, which led to Swerve then mounting him and then punching him in the jaw repeatedly until the ref stopped the match. Sounds like a slaughter to me, but yeah, I thought Swerve was. I thought this was the most kayfabe wise, most dominant Swerve has looked in AEW as a champion. He looked like he's unstoppable. He looked ruthless. Heel, yeah, sure. Don't care. He looked fucking awesome. And like once again, at the end of that night, I was like, once again, Swerve has saved his build for Wembley. Once again, like last week, I was like, oh man, Sarah asked us like, what the hell is going on? I was like, look, man, Swerve can't fix it because Brian's the one that fucked it up. Swerve trying his damnedest trying to fix these mistakes that Brian's made, and he's doing a damn good job. The problem is, you got to have some killer promo from Danielson on the way out on the go home. That's the last thing. Otherwise, be like, why did he even bother getting into this at all? Other than the fact that it's gonna be an awesome match. The only thing we got is an awesome match. And Swerve is operating at all time level right now.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal in this entire build.
I wouldn't either.
I know that hurts y'all hearts to hear this. I would not like.
Danielson is my favorite pro wrestler of the 12 years you've been covering been covering pro wrestling and doing this podcast. I would retire him if I had to book if this was the bill and the way it's laid out. I am moving on with Swerve as my champion.
Like this guy has he has grown into a butterfly with this title or whatever. There were questions like, did they give him the belt too early? They do all this other stuff. And month after month, this guy has proven and slowly won over so many people, I think, that are just like looking at him like, this is our guy right now.
And he's a heel doing this right now.
This guy is like, it's interesting, man, because it's like, if you lay it all down on paper and be like, what are the pros and cons of leaving because I fully see the argument of, hey, if you get it off him now, right, you still leave meat on the bone. You still leave.
Yeah. You have people desperately want to see him get a second title reign, which, I mean, regardless, unless something terrible happens, people want to see another title reign for him anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But like, you leave something on the table, you make him hungry for it, and then he can win it either way, as a face, a heel, whatever the fuck. I get it, but I think this guy's too good right now. We're talking about somebody that's going to be near the top of PWI this year or whatever. We're talking about somebody that's a Wrestler of the Year candidate out here. This guy, like, you know, if this is it, what a hell of a fucking title reign here. In only 4 months, it looks like. And it's like, it didn't have to go years and years to get somebody over. It didn't have to go, you know, there didn't have to be bullshit opponents along the way to artificially stretch this thing. Pause. This has been like a lot of stuff just packed in this short time period where it's like, yeah, they could keep it going, but I understand, I would not feel robbed either way. If this is the end of the line for him. I think Danielson's been uninspiring, and he's been pretty much a zero going into this thing. He did one of those post show promos last week.
I saw it. It was very good.
Yeah, it was great.
But it's the same thing with AEW when these promos. Put them fucking things on TV.
Right. It's like, how about we try doing this on national television in front of the crowd?
Because they just did it with Hangman. They just did it with Hangman, and then and now they just doing it with Danielson right now.
So I'm like, got the promo of your life in you next week? Oh, you do, you don't. I don't know. You know, does it matter to you at all? Like, because I just read all your post interview or your promo interviews. They're sending you out to these places where you sound like you don't give a fuck. You're taking more questions about, do you regret leaving WWE? Like, rather than like selling your fucking match. Send Swerve on the promo interviews. I know he knows how to promote some shit. Like,
I mean, that's not part of the TV show, so I don't.
It's just like,
it would only help. It would only help if each.
What's going to make the match bigger? Like giving these non-kayfabe interviews, whether they are.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, I didn't see these things in like, so it doesn't really affect how I view it because like it's not part of the TV show anyway to me. Right. But I see how like you'd be like, yeah, since you're not doing your job on screen, maybe you could do it off screen too. Or maybe you could do it off screen since you're not doing your job effectively on screen. Yeah, I see what you're saying. He's not doing it well from either perspective. Yeah.
And not to mention, he's not under contract. Have we asked this?
According to him.
Yeah, according to him, he's not under contract.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is a leg being pulled? Who knows?
This is what I'll say.
Like, why would you strap up somebody that's not under contract? I know Jon Moxley is this. Before y'all, pause the thing and yell. Yes, Jon Moxley was the champion. Without a contract.
Yeah, that's cool. You're talking about let's talk about Jon Moxley and it working out. What about the other times in the 100+ year history of professional wrestling where it didn't work out? You're talking about the exceptions, not the rule.
I just want to know why no one's even asking this. Like,
look, I would say this, right? They wouldn't have for 1 second put MJF in that position. Like, they trust Danielson in a way that, like, other wrestlers, they'd be like, we not for a second we have ever thought of no shit like this. MJF would have won that belt and took that and would have immediately been like, all right, some shit. Look, walk out the back and get on the phone and talk to Triple H in front of Tony Khan, nigga. Hey, Paul, how you doing? It's me, MJF. Oh, hold on a second, Tony. Yeah. So yeah, man, do you see pay-per-view? I'm their champion. I'm not under contract. These fucking idiots. Yeah. Totally different situation. Totally different level of trust. I get it. Yeah. However, whether that's look, whether it's
while we talking about Mox,
whether it's real or not, should have never been said. Should never been said. It hurts the match.
Yeah, it's like then again, I don't know if it does hurt the match because nobody's talking about that. Nobody's thinking of this.
Rich, if I did an interview, a retirement match versus top title match, and I tell you that one of the people just said anywhere that they're not under contract. What's your immediate thought? They're not fucking winning.
You would think.
That hurts the match.
Like, this is like a bunch of reverse psychology that I think ultimately is not going to draw. Or it has the potential to not help draw.
Right. So that's why you don't say it. I don't know, man. Whatever. Like, the match, look.
We can't tell Bryan Danielson anything what to do about pro wrestling, apparently.
Look, he knows more pro wrestling than either one's put together. Right? Whatever. Bell rings is going to be an all-time classic match. No doubt in my mind. I'm just saying this.
Bro, I am sure we're going to see like one of the greatest matches of all time.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'm sure it's going to be a great fucking match. It's going to be that's going to make you be like, yeah, this bill was some bullshit, but that match is fire though. That's going to happen. And the thing is, like, it's kind of frustrating because it's like, I know how talented you are, and I know you're so talented you're going to overcome this, but you shouldn't have to overcome this.
Yeah.
Why do you make this harder for yourself in the ring? Whatever.
I hope they at the last minute, Danielson's going to get his final countdown and everything. I think it's a perfect time for them.
That's a great title for this fucking match. An absolutely incredible title for this match. And you're going to come out the final countdown. It's going to be great. Yep. It's going to be great.
I think this is the time for Tony Khan to open up the wallet and get Ain't Nobody for Swerve. I think this is it. And then, it
can't be as expensive as countdown.
This is the time.
That license is not counted. It's not as expensive as the Euro. Can't be.
Look, either one, fly Shaka Khan in and make her perform before he comes out, and then drop in the Swerve song, or play that shit where he became a star in the UK and all that stuff. Play that, and then he drops into his song, and that's his entrance. Like, I think it's time for. I don't think anybody's thinking about this, but I would. And I don't know if. Look, I'm.
How many of the AEW fans know that connection to that song like that, though?
I think immediately people would know, because that is the only thing people were asking for when he first joined the promotion.
Okay.
I don't know if this has actually even been brought up.
Brewhaven with the underestimation of the sensory. He said, he's like, said there ain't nobody's catchy song. Oh, you think? Like, the song's playing in my head as we're talking right now. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's very catchy.
I feel like I should send a text message to at least throw up the lob of this happening if it's not already in motion. I don't know anything. I'm watching this just like a fan. So
how do we
pause?
I watch this just like a freaky ass nigga. Kendrick Lamar has ruined the language.
Clip that.
Oh man. So what was I about to say? Hey, yo, Brewhaven's outrageous.
Whoa.
Oh man. What was I even saying, man?
We were talking about Ain't Nobody.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, how does Nana dance to that shit on the way down the ring?
He'll figure something out. He will figure something out. But yeah, this is gonna be great. I think Danielson's winning, just because I know he's not retiring. So
I don't know what's going on, man.
Then again, yeah, you're right.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe he gets a win.
Because he ain't on the contract, so why the fuck? Like, what?
Look, maybe he gets a Wembley Stadium. Tony Khan's like, hey, this guy's not under contract, and then Danielson goes, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna lose.
Right, I'm out.
That could easily happen. He's beat the fuck up. Who knows?
Right.
If that were the case, I'd take it.
Because that's what it's been, like, you talk about. You've been talking about for the last few weeks about, like, these interviews you've been doing, all like, that aren't part of the show, and about, like, he sounds like he wants to be done, but Tony Khan keep telling him, I need you, and Tony Khan would be like, yeah, he ain't got the heart to be like singing, be like, no, I'm done once we get to the show. So Tony can be like, yeah, man, so what's the plan? Like, we gonna push you over, we gonna have you go to, do this in third. Like, I got another plan. How about I lay down for Swerve and then you win and I go home to my family?
How about I take 6 house calls in the middle of the ring and he end my career? Yeah. if it was me, I'm putting Swerve over and retiring Danielson and Holla.
Because you can't convince me after all the stuff I've seen Danielson do over the last 5 years, that man will love no more than to put over Swerve. You can't tell me he will love no more than to put over Swerve in this moment right now. You couldn't tell me. Ain't no way. That man begging and itching and pleading and probably been saying for months to Tony Khan, yeah, man, I think Swerve the guy. I think I want to get in there and, you will make you champion, retirement match? Oh, yeah, sure. All right. Fuck around and double cross Tony Khan and lay down. A reverse double cross. This man gonna lay down and not kick out at 3. Or kick out before 3. Oh, what is that?
Oh, Brewhaven said Danielson should do the fake seizure only for Swerve to hit him with a house call. Yes.
Oh, man.
I love it. Stop that bullshit.
Hey, that'd be great for the story of the 2 top men's matches, because Danielson was out here doing all that, was out here, really hurt or whatever else, and it's really affected Ospreay, and then he had that match with Ospreay had that match with Swerve, and Swerve told him, man, you have no killer instinct, and then you go out and show, I'll beat you, and I beat him. I don't care about none of that season. I'll stop the season.
1, 2, 3, we'll go football. None of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta do with that. You gotta deal with someone dangerous to beat Swerve.
Yeah. That's your preview for AEW All In.
I had fun. I think this show's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. I feel a lot kind of better about this show this year than last year. I
have to think about where we were. I'm not really in the mind frame to recall all that stuff a year ago. But I enjoyed that match for the main event. I enjoyed that show for the main event.
Oh, I know that this main event is going to kick the shit out of last year's.
Oh my God, not even close. Not even close.
I prefer what Danielson did this year leading up for anything that MJF and Cole did last year. Eating Chinese food and shit.
All I'll say is this. Regardless of Adam Cole, regardless of MJF, neither one of them has touched what Swerve has done in this build. I have no notes for Swerve. Swerve's been great. Yeah, it's been his opponent's been the problem.
Yeah, I think Swerve is proved that he's cemented. I think people see him as a superstar at this moment, and he, I would say enjoy this guy. This guy has a lot of opportunities, in wrestling, obviously, and outside of wrestling.
What do you mean by in wrestling? What opportunities he got inside of wrestling?
What I'm saying,
has Triple H been out here tampering again?
Nah.
Tony Khan talking about tampering recently. Here this motherfucker go again, messing with Swerve again.
Not that I'm aware of, okay. But I think Swerve does have a long-term future in the promotion, and I think he also, he has a lot beyond wrestling too. So no pun intended, with the indie promotion, but I think people should enjoy this guy while he's here doing the best work in the prime of his career. I'll just say that. So this is saw him come into this company 2.5 years ago, and what a story. Think it's really, I think a lot of people should take notes from his playbook that he did. Learn how to not get yourself in trouble politically. Learn how to get yourself over. Learn how to have great matches in the main event. Learn how to be over.
Learn how to tell stories. With beginning, middle, and the end. Learn to tell stories.
Yes. Learn to cut promos. That actually build things and people.
Learn how to find a rival.
Yeah. The fuck.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever thought about? Seriously thought about what it's gonna be like when Ospreay and Hangman get a hold of each other? That's gonna be awesome,
bro. I can't wait for that match.
That's gonna be fucking awesome.
Oh my god! Be awesome.
The future is so bright with this company at the top. If they get a clear focus on who their actual top guys are, the top 6 guys are, Oh, it's gonna be.
I can pick them out right now. Jesus, do they need help? Look, do I have to pick this thing up right here and start dialing?
Bro, hold on, let me see the back of your phone. Let me see your phone case.
Got the purple on you boys.
Okay, for a second I was like, wait, is it like a cassette? Like,
oh, no.
Okay. What the fuck? All right,
shout out, man, Frankie.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Zack Sabre Jr. won the G1 climax.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I was telling Jeremy and Zach, like, I think they're going to pick Tsuji to win, and if with me, I pick Tsuji, like, as the booker, but I think Zach should win because it's like I don't, you know.
And Zach's not taking the Tokyo Dome match. He's gonna do it earlier.
And then I found out about that. I was like, oh.
I was like, so they gave you the G1 win, but not really.
Right. I was like, oh, okay. I see what's happening. But either way, you know, like, for me, if Naito's gonna be the champion, there are. Like, one of the best options for him for any title defense will be Zack Sabre Jr. He's one of Zach's, or Zach is one of Sabre. Zach is one of Naito's best opponents over the last, like, half decade. So, for me, good. It be Sonata or Evil.
Man. Yeah. Brewhaven, the white man's place, is on top of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know, the only other...
Hey man, look. We spent like a half hour, you know, with the dump Matsumoto thing. We don't need any more of this of heat from people that, you know. Leave us alone. Say that for next week. All right, we can't. We already. You know.
They had you know, this is the first foreigner to win the G1 since Kenny Omega in 2016. It's a lofty distinction. However, Kenny Omega did not have to have his IWGP title match 2 or 3 months early.
I will say this: it does make the back half of the year more interesting. Them doing this,
yeah, because it seems like Zach's going to win the belt or whatever. You would think
if they're going to go and do, you know, go over there and do it and have a match here.
Yeah, I think you know, they got 2 days. They've got Wrestle Kingdom and then Wrestle Dynasty right behind it. You'd imagine there's AEW plugged in somewhere. I haven't really thought out all of the scenarios yet. Makes you wonder what Naito's match is, and is it Hiromu Takahashi?
I've heard that.
The young boy Josh Smith is floating a Zack Okada match for 1-4 possibly, and I just don't know where he pulled that from, but I guess
I gotta see Kazuchika Okada in New Japan again first before I believe he gets the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way he left, like it can't just be we're just willing to just drop anything and let you come back. It's got to be some kind of residual heat from him leaving like that. You know, it can't just be just immediately sweet. Ain't no way. Even if they're partners, AEW and New Japan can't be.
Is Tanahashi gonna say it's my time, baby? You know, you gonna need some help, Zack Sabre Jr. in this main event. You know, like, let's get Tanahashi out there. You know, I know people were like, he's too old, he's beat up. Tanahashi will pull out. Look, the last place that it goes is the Dome. The last place it goes out is the Dome. That's a great line.
Look, the last Okada Tanahashi match, you can't say it wasn't great. That shit was great. That new beginnings match earlier this year was great.
That man took off the entire G1. That man gonna come out and be like, yeah, I've been working on these abs, you know, for a couple months. Look, they're gonna get the King of Pro Wrestling or some shit or Power Struggle in November, and then all of a sudden Tanahashi gonna walk out that bitch and be like, you, me, January 4th.
Look, they've done a lot worse than have Tanahashi and Okada in the Dome again, okay? They've done a lot worse.
Hey, man, you know, That's what I'm going with. I'm going with Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. for the belt in the dome.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant okay. All right. I thought you meant Okada and Tanahashi for like some random match.
Oh
yeah. I mean, Tanahashi and Sabre. I mean, they have good matches too.
Oh yeah, I'm just bullshitting, but
I look. If you were ever going to do a match with Zack Sabre Jr. in the main event of the Dome, you kind of do need Tanahashi or Naito. That's the only way it's gonna make sense to be able to draw.
Yeah, because it's like there's just no one else to put in that spot unless it's an Okada or like Kenny Omega gets off his ass. But even then, you got two white guys.
But I think the Okada thing needs to be like Okada hasn't done a New Japan in like 2-3 years.
Yeah,
like the oh my god, it's been so long. You know, that kind of return thing. Not like he was here a year ago.
Yeah,
he was in the company like 11 months ago and he left.
Right. Like as of today, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, so they're just gonna have to show me or whatever. But as of today, it's like I don't see where the plan is coming from.
And I don't necessarily hate that because, like, if you tell me you're gonna do Sabre versus Naito after Sabre wins the G1, the Dome doesn't sound like the right thing for them business wise. But them doing it in London, in England, yeah, that does make sense. So I'm okay with that. Now, how they get whatever they figure out for the Dome after that, fine. But like a lot of the time, we've talked about this when it comes to the G1 ends, and then and basically everything is kind of like in a holding pattern until we get to the Dome at the top for the top title scene. It's like, okay, I'm fine with this. This is some intrigue that we rarely have, except for some goofy shit they do with the briefcase from time to time.
And I don't know.
Like, Kota Ibushi fucking lost to Jay White after winning the G1. God damn it! Like stupid shit like that.
So like, if they do Zack and Naito, and then Zack wins it, if Naito just re-challenges him again, and then just wins it back in January 4th,
that would be hilarious.
That is so awful and
that
whack, would
be hilarious.
And like, that's just like so boring, predictable. I would come on here and call them lazy, but if it's Tetsuya Naito, so
but if it's you know, they do that and then except they don't do the rematch, they do Suji wins the belt, they do Naito and Hiromu as something that could be, you know, not the main event, but like will be the top drawing match, like that works. That will work.
Well, one thing the G1 did tell me is like they don't see none of these young guys like they saw Okada. They just didn't let him win. You know, he won the New Japan Cup. They could have gave him the Suzuki G1. I would have gone for it. I always heard, James, that this was about Japan. You know, this was about making a domestic star, the domestic company. Like, maybe they don't see Yoda Suzuki like that. Maybe he's more in the.
If they don't, then which one is, or who's it going to be then? Because unless they're going to just get the rights to the Keshta.
Yeah, he's the guy that they wish they had. Like if they had Takeshita, there would be no question at all.
Right, he'd be their new ace. Yeah,
but I think if you've got Three Musketeers stock or Ray with Three Musketeers stock, it's a rough week. I think for you, it's almost you got to wait another year for all that stuff to start cashing in. Then Yu Uemura is not at that level right now.
Tell me how the New Musketeers have been around for officially a year now in that naming, and like seemingly it looks like Stardom's already about to pass them with Neo Genesis, and they just been and Neo Genesis just only been around for a few weeks.
Maybe you got to take Taro Okada off Fraud Alert.
I don't know about taking him off Fraud Alert, but what I would say is like at least he's pushing the button and he's going through with it.
Yeah, they're gonna look up Yoda Suzuki gonna be 30-something. It ain't that far away.
Oh, man, I thought he was even come out here and if and go to that man. I was like,
look, that man done lost 2 IWGP title matches already.
You heard about how they was going crazy for Goto during the G1, right? You heard about that,
Sushi's already 30. Yes, I heard they were going crazy over Goto.
Yeah, it ain't never too late, I guess.
Apparently.
I had made a joke. It's like, yeah, man, It's finna go down for him in year 23, and now I looked it up. I was like, I'm wrong. It's year 21. My bad.
Oh yeah, Susie's already 30. I'm being told. So I don't know what they're waiting for with none of these next generation guys. Just fucking do it, because I don't know, either that or become an old man promotion. Like, just put it on Tanahashi. He ain't never won the shit, the new belt. So
that's a good point. He has never won that belt. He's never won the diplomatic immunity belt. That's true.
Fuck it. Strabo days. Ace rise again.
I thought we told this story in 2018 or 2019. But okay. And this time there ain't no Jay White around to fuck it up by new beginnings either.
Yep. Let's get it. This white man must be stopped. I can't believe it. Les Zack Sabre, when did G1?
Man, he's probably their best wrestler at this point now. And I don't mean that as no slight. Like, he's been great. He's been great. So I ain't hating on it. I just like you, I have questions about like what, once we get past them doing this little, this thing with England with him and Naito, what is actually the plan for the Dome? So I'm willing to wait to see what it is. I am. And if it is like the whole, like, Tsuji in the main event, Hiromu and Naito, like, I actually will be excited for that. I think that's cool. They finally gave Naito something cool to do for the first time in a while, if that is the case.
Ren Narita is 26, I'm being told. I don't think Ren Narita is ever going to make it. His career has already been ended. Sorry. They chose.
He's shooting heroin with the dope or the junk man. That's him. Look, Ren, Show, both of them. Damn it.
Shout out my man Keem on Twitter, and Suit Williams and all these other people running this reverse Soraya propaganda to try to get her to go back to WWE. That apparently she liked one of the tweets and she doesn't know the difference. Anyway, I got nothing else. OneLifetimeWorldwide.com. Get your merch. All In's next week. We're back with the review. I don't know if we'll have a guest or not. But,
so your sister made the Kenta Kobashi shirt, right?
She did.
Okay. All right. I need to go holler at her. Holler at her about a shirt, I guess. I'll talk to you once we do the plugs or whatever else. So that's it to the show, y'all. Thanks for listening. Be sure to rate some more app you use and listen to this with. And be sure to listen to other. If you are watching the stream, go to our podcast notes and go to the Word Circle link and you donate there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imps WWE Adventure, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Tunnel Talk, and the Trish and Wrestling Sarah podcast? Ooh. The Trish and Sarah Wrestling podcast. I'm losing it. But yeah, that's it for the show. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later. Just quick thing. Mentioned the Kobashi shirt that your sister made. I mean, might need to go holler at her and go get a dump shirt made.
Oh man, just you make your official profile picture.
Yeah.
The Matsumoto shirt.
Yeah. Why not?
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Later, y'all.
Peace.